Well, let's bring on Daniel, Laurent and Leah Nicole now from the Wedlocked and Loaded podcast. How are you both doing today?
Good.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day, as you can probably see, but I think there's a plane flying above me, so apologies if you can hear that.
There's no problem.
So the Wedlocked and Loaded podcast, what kind of thing do you like to get up to in the podcast?
Truth. Truth, and we like to have a little fun. We don't want it to be dark.
Yeah.
And why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just listening.
You don't know what I'm gonna say? I think, we've been married close to 11 years.
Oh, good job.
Knock it off.
Okay.
We've been married close to 11 years, and I think that we've been together over, I don't know the exact number, and I'm not going to shoot myself, and I have to go to bed tonight in peace. So we've been together over 20 years, and I think we've gone through a lot. And, we started as friends, and we remember it's like, find that. And so what's important to us is to have a show where we can really talk as friends and talk candidly, and then talk about what got us back to a point of being in love and not just loving each other. It's been a journey. So we just want to exude that to the listeners and offer some tips, some fun. We talk about some spicy stuff. She calls me names every chance she gets.
Whatever, I do not.
I don't know if you've ever watched like A Christmas Story where he had his mouth washed out with a bar soap. I'm very close to doing that with her.
Wow.
Every episode. Exactly.
So what made you want to do a podcast together?
I think for me, it was important, well, for two things. One, when people are around us, they think that we are hilarious and they feel like, you guys need your own show, you need your own show. But two, it's because I think that, everybody has, they see these couples and they idealize, what they think how this relationship is going. And no matter how perfect you think somebody's relationship is, you have no idea what they're actually going through.
Yeah.
And I think that Dan and I, just our testament or our story can be a testament to that, right? Like, it might look perfect or great from the outside, but, there might be some turmoil, happening behind the four walls of your home, right?
That's an interesting point, I suppose, because you get to know you in the podcast, don't you?
Right.
Yeah. And, we want to be also being around, unfortunately, some marriages, people are not allowed to be their authentic selves. And, and whatever that may mean, whether it's a particular music you like, whether you're a smoker and you have to hide that. You know what I mean? It's refreshing when you're able to be in a marriage and be your authentic self. And if you want to watch trash TV, you're not judged behind it. And have that conversation, because we both came into this marriage as individuals. And so, yes, we are a team and we've joined as one, but we also give the perspective of, a woman, a man, and as a married couple. And we like to always just be honest. And I think now it makes sense because, again, we found love again and we're best friends. And I think doing this podcast years ago probably would have caused one of us to be, rest in peace. We've missed him. So, yeah.
Whatever.
Would you say it's a good idea to host a podcast with your spouse or not?
I think it depends on the relationship.
The relationship.
Yeah.
If you haven't gone through everything in a real way and really got to the bottom of things in a real way, and you just touch things on the surface, doing a show like this and dealing with certain things can cause, papers to be filed.
Potentially more tension in the house.
Yeah. So, and I think the goal for both of us was we never wanted to, and this isn't literally, but we didn't want to burn the house down for the sake of others' entertainment. So,
That's true. And who's the podcast intended for? Is it, fellow couples maybe, or could it be anyone really?
Really anyone.
Yeah.
I think that we are really relatable. in one way or the other to, people who are, because we don't talk just about the marriage life. We talk about the before, the middle, and the during, so like we talk about topics that can affect anyone. So yeah, I think anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's not, we intentionally wanted to not have a marriage podcast where it's, because there are people who have no interest in getting married. There are people that have recently gotten divorced, so we wanted to have it be entertaining. We went through years of therapy, and I think I didn't need to, but, I think that there are some people that's not open to therapy, right? And so they might get their therapy through our podcasts in ways, and putting the medicine in the candy, so we wanted to be mindful of that always and give little tips and things like that.
Yeah. So how important has that therapy been in your relationship?
Crucial. I think that there's been many times I wanted to leave Leah immediately.
There's been plenty of times where I've printed up those documents and put them on the dresser.
Leah,
what?
Leah.
Daniel.
So as I was saying, there's plenty of times that I wanted to leave Leah, and I think going through therapy helps. Something super, super simple without getting into a whole ball of wax. But, what our therapist had us do was, Leah would say whatever her thing was that she wanted to say. Yeah. And then before I could respond, because oftentimes we're listening to respond, right? So you're talking to me and I'm almost just waiting. Yeah. Okay. So this is, so what he would do is he would say, hold on, Daniel. So can you just repeat what Leah said? And then I have to be like, damn, I actually wasn't even really listening, Come, finish. Be nice. Finish. She just pinched me.
I did not.
And she looks so nice and sweet. You see what I mean?
Because I am.
It's nonsense.
Whatever.
So he would make me repeat before I could respond. So I think that's important, and we try to exude that in each show.
It makes you work on your listening ears.
Yeah.
My listening ears were good already.
No.
I just heard what I wanted to hear because the rest of it was nonsense.
Yeah.
Anyway, Toby's talking.
Yeah, but that is an important skill to have, I suppose, to actually listen. And it doesn't just apply to relationships, it can apply to life in general. People tend to listen to respond, but not actually listen.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And with parents, and we have that experience, and we speak to that. And again, there are a lot of single parents out there. We're not, our goal isn't to be experts and educators, and we're speaking from a high level of authority, but I think being honest is something that people just oftentimes don't do, and or their honesty might be just standoffish to you. And so there's niche audiences for everything. So you can have faith-based marriage podcasts, you can have really raunchy stuff where they're talking about everything that they did last night, all points in between, you know what I mean? Or you can have more family oriented. I think we try to mix all of it.
We're definitely a combination of everything.
Yeah.
And you've talked about many different subjects in the podcast. Is this stuff that you have some experience of, or do you have to sort of do a bit of research, or is it maybe just stuff that you happen to know already?
I think a lot of it is from just personal experience. I would say, a majority of it is that. We haven't gotten to a thing where we had to actually research at this point.
But we will.
Yeah.
Because, I think so the way we have it structured now is, it's not so, well, the way we have it loosely structured is Leah will come with her topics. I'll come with my topics. Depending on how we go, that topic may kind of last for the duration of the show.
And or lead us into another direction.
And we don't want to have it where, like I watch The View a lot. Leah will watch it if it's on, but I watch The View and they have the hot topics. So they'll talk about this for 3 minutes and they'll go to commercial break and talk about something else. But then sometimes as a viewer, you're like, wait, I wanted to hear more. I want to hear what she had to say. So we don't want to necessarily have every show 5 topics and we have to boom, 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 boom. But when we get to something where it's something where we want to also sound informed. So we don't want to just get on here and spitball ideas and, be brilliant idiots. No plug to them, but
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Well, what's coming up in future episodes? Have you got plans for other things you want to talk about?
So our next episode is gonna be Never Have I Ever.
Ooh.
Exactly. So if you all are watching Unfamiliar, it's basically a card game where and it's intended for more than two people. Yeah. So even for us doing it was like, it's a little tough. But anyway, so say if you're with your friends, 6 friends, whatever, you play the card game, you read a card. Never have I ever, kissed a stranger, right? And if you have, then you take a shot. You don't have to explain, but you take a shot and then you move on. Right. So it could be anything from that. Never have I ever ran in the street naked. Never have I ever had a shower with more than 2 people. Never have I ever.
Are you making these up?
No.
And then there are some cards where they are blank. And the thing is, sometimes you can pick up a card where it's, you have to tell the truth or not. And then there's cards where you can fill in the blanks. And then there's also it's kind of like truth or dare in a sense.
Yeah. So that's the next episode. That's going to be airing on Wednesday. So we're airing that then. It's a lot of fun. It's yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. What you find out about your partner.
Yeah. Exactly.
Have you recorded that one already yet?
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right after this call, we actually have a therapy session. To unpack. You know what I mean? Because I'm ready to move out like any moment.
Yeah. Right.
So I need the therapist to kind of reel me back in.
Yeah.
So, but we also just we just had an episode talking about abuse, and I don't want to say I let. So Leah more so led that conversation and just talking about the brutal truth that women often have to suffer and endure, and oftentimes suffer in silence. And so that was a very powerful episode. And
not just women, children. I mean, I think it's, more times than not, like you said, women tend to be silent about those things, but men tend to be just as silent.
Yeah. So, that was a really heavy episode. So we wanted to let the next episode be a little light.
Yeah.
So again, the balance is important,
Absolutely. Well, where can we check out the podcast if we'd like to hear it?
So we're on Podbean, which is an app, and or you can go on the internet and look at it. But if you Google Wed, Locked and Loaded, WEDLOCKED and Loaded Podcast, you should find it. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeart. I don't know if Tidal. You have to double check that. Yeah. But all of the streaming platforms we're on, and last thing I'll say, because I think this is I don't know how important it is.
It's always important because it's the last thing you want to say.
Leah. So, the episode's about 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. I think the abuse episode was a little longer because it was just unpacking a lot of things. But we want to just have something that is, you can put it in a container and you can take it. It's not like a 3-hour episode where you have to, you know what I mean? We want to,
like you can, super committed to
when you're driving home, you can listen to it.
Right.
So
you can listen to that anytime once you download it.
Yeah. Well,
when you're with your significant other and doing some romantic stuff, you can.
No, I do not recommend that.
Well, on that note, many thanks for coming on today. It's been great to talk to you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Yeah.